This is Matt in the Man Cave, guys. It's late night and it is after dark. It is going to be what? Snowing out there tonight in about 3 hours. You know what that means? That Punxsutawney Phil punked me. You're like, what are you talking about? The groundhog? He came out and said early spring. Hey, here's the thing. I'm in March right now, partner. I don't know if you know that, but it's snowing in 3 hours out there. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches. I'm going to make a phone call and get in touch with Punxsutawney and say, hey, stop punking me. This is the Man Cave. We don't play games. Today we're going to be going over an awesome verse. It's one of my favorites, and it actually is my wife's favorite verse. She actually has a shirt, okay, and it's going to be Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him. He'll direct your paths. Now, when we hear that, okay, you know what that is to us? That's an anchor. I mean, because there's so much uncertainty in life. We don't know what tomorrow holds. God does, but we still wonder about different things, okay? God's opening doors, closing doors, and we're always wondering, what direction is God taking me? Is this the right decision? Is it not the right decision? Can I share this with you? I've learned personally in my life, okay? God can slam a door closed. God is well able to say, Matt, no. You're missing it. I mean, he literally can do that. But God leads me with his peace, okay? And he directs my steps. I mean, he is so good at being God. And I know that sounds silly, but God is really good at being God, where I am not the perfect role model child that I should be, okay? Guys, when we look at this verse, listen very carefully. I know this is a very familiar verse to you. It says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do you really know what that means? Because so many people cling to this verse. It means this: trust the Lord with your life. Trust the Lord with your kids. Trust the Lord with your occupation. It means trust the Lord with your finances. Trust the Lord with tomorrows and yesterdays. Just trust him. I mean, and when we read the verse and we think, okay, trust the Lord with all my heart. Okay, yeah, I got that. We don't have it. Friends, until you go through a storm, until you really, and I mean really, okay, are pressed hard, okay, you're not going to realize the depth of this verse. The first time I preached this text, okay, I was in Las Vegas. I was filming, okay, for the Man Cave devotions, those daily devotions where I throw the piece of paper up, okay? Can I tell you what date it was? I can't. I literally can't. But as I was teaching it, is there anything that I said that was wrong? Absolutely not. But I had not fully gone through different things in my life. And it is those hardships, it is the pain, it is the suffering that C.S. Lewis talks about that molds us, that shapes us, okay? We don't look forward to those seasons. We actually hate those seasons. But afterwards, we can look back and see what God was doing. So really the question is, are you trusting the Lord with all your heart? And you're like, I am, Matt. What's the next part of the verse, though, Matt? And leaning not on your own understanding. Oh, man, I'm telling you, that's the hard part. See, guys, when you made Jesus Lord, Savior, Master, owner of your life, okay, you're basically declaring to all heaven, okay, into the throne room, God, you got me. I mean, that's really what you're saying, okay? I'm going to trust you with my life, with my family's life, with my occupation, with my finances, with everything, okay, that I want to control. I release it to you. And guys, as men, do we not want to control certain facets of our life? Do we not want to safeguard us? And God's saying, I'm God. Let me bless you, protect you, provide for you, do everything, okay, that you want to do in your own strength, which is what? Self-preservation. Oftentimes leads to idolatry, often leads to places we don't want to go because it's not God's design, okay? Jesus gave us a perfect picture in the Garden of Gethsemane. I don't mind using this example over and over and over again. Not my will be done, but thy will be done. When you surrender your life, if he wants to shipwreck you, Are you going to fight him on it? If he allows something in your life that you just, you're like looking up to heaven saying, why, Lord, why? Are you okay with it? See, that's what it means, okay? To trust the Lord with all of your heart, okay? That you accept his sovereign rule over your life. And guys, there's no sugarcoating this, okay? Okay, on the higher levels of Christianity, it gets downright hard because we want to question God on different things that happen to us in life, okay? And we can't. We can ask for comfort. We can ask for direction. We can ask for wisdom. We can ask for him. Okay, and there is no better reward or greater reward than God ministering to you, God shining his face upon you, God having your back. And friends, there is no greater delight that he gets from you than in the midst of it, you trust him. See, guys, you trust him with your heart, with your whole life, with all your being. What? Listen very carefully. With all of your being, with all of your zeal, with all of you. Even when you don't understand what tomorrow holds or what in the world is going on in my life right now, he doesn't have to shine light into our lives, okay? He just has to speak to us. And here's the thing, because you're a child of God, you will hear the still small voice of the Lord. And friends, whatever God is asking of you, and when you hearken, because you will, and when you obey, and when you're going into it, not understanding, not feeling secure, not knowing what tomorrow holds, are you able to lean not on your own understanding, but in all of your ways, acknowledge his rulership over your life? Whew! Matt, why in the world did I click play on you? You are so funny, my friend. Listen. That God, here's the thing. If you can't do it right now, God will get you to the place where you will be able to do it. A.W. Tozier says this: it is doubtful that God uses anyone greatly before hurting them deeply. It seems like God puts us in the press. God puts us in the calm. God puts us in the storm. God oftentimes allows such adversity within our lives. And all of it is to what? Raise you up into a child of the living God, where you lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways, with your life, with your family, with your resources, with all of your being, trust him. See, no greater glory can be given to God from your life than what I'm talking about. I mean, that's it. I mean, you can break down every single verse, okay, and it's always going to scream out the same thing. God is going to bring you to a place of brokenness. God's going to bring you to the place where you'll be able to do it. A lot of people, they can't do it, okay, and they hold on to this verse, okay, and this verse, honestly, has been an anchor in my life, in my wife's life, okay. I can just thinking this, praying this back to God, crying out, because I was in the midst of something, and I just didn't understand. Why is this happening, Lord? Why are you allowing it? But I never threw the towel in at God. I just kept on asking why. I kept on asking for comfort. I kept on asking for direction. I kept on asking for wisdom. I kept on asking him, confirm your word to me. And sometimes when you're in the classroom, God is just like this, zip. But I knew this. Friends, I realized this. If I would do what he required up front, he would do what he said in his word, because he doesn't lie. He doesn't change his mind. There's no shadow of turning with God, and he never apologizes to people. He promised he would direct my steps. See, guys, a lot of times we're trying to figure out these different things in life because we don't want to make a mistake, and we really, really want to serve God, and we're crying out to God, and God's just saying this in your life: do what you know to do. Listen to this. You know what I'm saying? We've started with the simple, and we brought it up to where it was just like, oh my goodness. And now we're going to bring it back down to the simple. If you acknowledge God in your daily affairs, when you wake up in the morning, are you praying to God? You ought to be praying to God. In the morning, are you dedicating a certain amount of time to what? Reading your word? Are you going to church? Are you doing the things that God says to do? Are you watching the devotions? If you're watching this, here's the thing. Mark that off, okay? There's things that God requires of us, okay? Are you forsaking sin? Are you running away from those things that are going to hurt you in the long run? Every single day, dedicate it to the glory of Almighty God. Ask for help. See, as you do these things, you're acknowledging God. Friends, as you're trusting God, as you're obeying God, as you're hearkening to his still small voice, he's going to direct your steps, and those steps always lead somewhere. Where do they lead? To his perfect will. He promises, I'm going to direct your steps. See, he is never, okay, going to sabotage you. He's not going to sabotage you. He says, my plans for you, they're not to harm you. They're for what? your blessing for favor. Okay, they're to advance you. Sometimes we don't see that, but that's why this verse is so powerful. No matter what's going on in your life, my God is on the throne and he's sovereign over his creation. Honestly, he knows what he's doing. And I have seen in my personal life where I was progressing forward that he just slammed that freaking door. He lit that thing up, about knocked the hinges off the wall, okay? He can close down doors and he can open doors that no man can close. And he does that for his children, okay? As we trust him, as we're walking by faith, not by sight. Friends, what you're doing, do you have peace about how you're living and what you're doing? Are you progressing forward in what? In faith? In prayer, okay? Are you acknowledging God in all your ways? He promises, I'm going to direct your path, your steps, okay? I'm going to go before you. I'm going to make your crooked places straight. I'm going to move the mountains to the left and the right. Nothing is going to stop you because God Almighty is backing you. Friends, as we look at this verse, more times than not, people that are clinging to this verse are moving forward under the shadow of God's wings. God's doing something mighty in their life. But can I share this with you, okay? You need this verse just as much in the uncertainties of life, okay, as well as the victories of life. You need this verse when you're on the mountaintops. You know why? Because you need all of God. You need him to direct you, okay? It's oftentimes, most people can pass the poverty test, okay? Somehow, some way they ink it out. They're crying out to God. They're pushing through. They're punching through. They're piercing the darkness. They're doing all these things. They're checking. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times when we're on the mountain, it's like we're stupid. We take a stupid pill for a minute. We take our eyes off of God, think, okay, all my problems are now gone, and I got it from here, Lord. Said the fool. When you're on top of the mountain or getting on top of the mountain or progressing in the blessings of God and the favor of God and God's doing a new thing in your life, you better double down, okay, on your time and your devotion to God, because that's when the enemy of your souls likes to come around, okay, because it's idolatry when we make ourselves God. And oftentimes we're going solo. We're thinking, okay, now that God's handled all my problems, he's revealed this to me, he's told me this, he got me the promotion, he got me this relationship, okay, I have more money than I need, okay, he's blessed me beyond measure, the latter rains are raining on me, I'm good now. Said the fool. How do I know that? Because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, only to have the t-shirt taken away. Listen. When you're being doubly blessed, when the double portion of favor is falling upon you, this is when you truly have to trust God. I mean, why are we always trying to give ourselves a pat on the back? I didn't create oxygen. You're like, Matt, where did that come from? Because I'm breathing God's air every single day. It's his blood, but yet it's royal blood because I'm a child of the living God. Friends, when you find yourself in a place like what? Like the Israelites entering into the promised land. You know the warning God gave them? He says this, don't forget me when all the desires of your heart are given to you, and when you have your own house one day, and land, and more money, and vineyards, and all the things that you've been wanting, okay, as you were wandering around in the desert, going around that mountain, learning life lessons, okay? Don't forget me. What did they do? We got it from here, Lord. Friends, none of us have it from here anytime in our life. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, with all of your life, with everything, with your being, with all your choices, with your dedication, with your children, with your wife, with your finances, every part of your life, with your health. Trust in the Lord. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't you try to figure it out. In all your ways, acknowledge he's sovereign king. Whatever he says, go. It doesn't matter what I see with these eyes. These eyes get me in trouble because they lie to me. Okay, I look at things and I start reasoning. I start thinking, Matt's pretty smart. This and this means this. It means nothing. What means something is what God speaks from the throne room, okay, in front of the sea of glass, in front of all those angels that are worshiping him, saying, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. That means he's the beginning and the ending. He knows what tomorrow holds. He has a whole snapshot of your life, okay, and he wants to bless you. He sees your life in light of eternity. He sees everything that's going to take place, and he's decreed so much of it in your life. It's not even funny, and it's all good. It's all good. And you're like, Matt, can I ask you a question real quick? How do I know it's all good? Because he's already given you the most important thing that meant something to him more than anything. What are you talking about? He gave you his son. Anything he gives you on top of that, It's crumbs off the heavenly table. He's just going like that. With what men desire and long for and kill for, he's thinking, this is nothing. I can trust my child with it because he trusts me. I love Jesus Christ. And I love how powerful he is and how mighty he is and how he hides his power. And in his wings are healing. And he chases me down with his mercy and his goodness and all of him and none of me. He must increase. I must decrease. And all of life is just about that. Glorifying the person who really needs the honor and the glory because he's high lifted up and he is majesty on high. He is the only potentate and he will direct your path this very day. Why? Because he loves you. He says he's jealous over you and he died for you. And he's the one that wrote your name in the Lamb's Book of Life before you were ever in the womb. Late night in the Man Cave. See you tomorrow.